Good morning, church. It is January 3rd, 2016, and it is 3:06 in the morning. I just woke up about a minute ago and had to nurse my arm here. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm sitting here working on a budget trying to complete the December 2015 personal budget, and right before that, I was sitting here at this desk, and my eyes were hurting me because of the glare of the light directly being in my eye. And as I was sitting here, Gabriel kept on coming out emotionally and weeping. I'm not exactly sure why she was being emotional and weepy. I think it was because of she was talking about her death, and so was Melinda. And I don't know the woman, so I didn't cry and sympathize about her dying. Instead, I went and bought a frame and used one of those newspaper articles from the Portland Tribune. And what I did instead was put the Tribune here in front, behind the cross, sort of like a memorial as a reminder. But it wasn't for the photograph that's in there, for the newspaper that's in there now. It was more or less for the it was for a photo. It was for a photograph of Jesus. This is what's in there now. It was for a photograph of Christ and the four parts of his crucifixion, the whole process of him dying on the cross. And that's what I had purchased the frame for. I just hadn't gotten around to it because I was doing some other work. This would have been like the I don't know if you can see it. I drew it out. The here it is right here. The scourging, the crown, crowned Christ. Right here is the crucifixion, and then here is the you can see he was nailed, both hands and feet. Right, it was hands and feet, and he was beaten, scourged, and he was crowned. And what I was going to do is put it in front of this cross that I have here. So this was going to go in here. I have to go to the I can't go to the library, but I figured the next time I get on the internet, I would go and I would download the photographs of it, or drawings of it, or why not. And I was just sitting here working on this budget, and they started talking about her dying, and and sort of like trying to coax me to get involved. And I told them basically take her to an old folks home, and I wouldn't weep and sympathize about her death because I don't know the old woman, and I really don't care about the old woman, whether she lives or she dies or what happens to her, because she's not family. When you've been removed from someone since 1983 and you've been trying to get rid of them since that time, and you don't sympathize with the old woman, she's a sex offender, you don't and she came out twice tearing and crying, and it's almost like that's her. She acts like a little girl, when she wants something. She acts like a little girl, and she acts like it's the end of the world, and she wants what she wants, and so she makes you feel it, right? So she could have committed murder, and then she starts weeping and crying. And then what Melinda had said too, it's John MacArthur doesn't want to die, because I think what is supposed to happen is that they're both supposed to be judged. They're both supposed to be judged to death. And since I don't know either one of them, I mean, it's like, how can you sympathize with somebody who's been molesting you and abusing you since 1981 and even before that through her children, right? I mean, how do you sympathize with an old sex offender? You don't. No matter what happens to them, you want them dead. You want them gone. You want them hurt. You want them killed, whether it be by accident or, you want them destroyed. I mean, even in prayer, you're like, God, kill these people because they're so malicious and they're so vicious and they trespass and they rape you and they beat you and they take advantage of you and they do all kinds of evil against you. I mean, why would they even come? Why would they even bring it up in spirit, right? So I didn't want to be involved in the process of her being killed by the government. If the government went along and killed her, I would certainly be at peace with that. I mean, I'd probably just say it was the will of God. I don't sympathize with the woman. I don't know who she is. And same thing goes for John. John is a killer himself. I mean, I don't sympathize with killers. If they have the audacity to kill someone, then yes, they should have been killed. Gabriel should have been killed years ago for some of the evil that she's done. And same thing goes for John MacArthur. But for whatever purpose or reason, she came out on the other end of the spectrum, and I felt the violence coming from her. And they switched from the teary eye and the crying to one of those ordeals. And as I was sitting here, my eyes began to burn. And so I thought, well, I've been working at this budget for 2 hours now, and I'm barely getting done. I'm not sure what incited her, and she kept on saying that the government did something to her. I don't know where she is at Gretchen Kafori Commons. I don't know which of these 9 floors she's hiding. I don't know which room she's hiding in. Obviously, it's somewhere close by on the 7th floor or 8th or 9th or maybe even 6th or 5th floor. I don't know. I don't know the woman. I don't know why she's in the back. I don't know why she's chosen me to be the one to suffer, right? She's an old, sick, old mental case. I don't really know who she is. She has a ton of homosexuals, both women and men, who are assuming the position of who she is, and there's a whole community of them. I mean, it doesn't matter what color, what race, they all are representatives or make-believes of this woman. I mean, some of these actresses from 1940s, 1930s, they're coming out now with both male and female. I was watching a movie by Rita Hayworth a couple days ago and Glenn Ford, and even back then, or they've somehow communicated through the movie that they're representing, those two actors are representing Sandra Duclairon and Gabriel Franklin, or Sandra Duclairon and the manager here, and they have so much control over the movie that I don't know what the original actors look like, so I don't really know who they are, the original people. And so you have people, it's almost like what they showed me in the movie is that they were able to lose, they were able to lose the act. In other words, they can act real. When they lose the act, the real person comes out. When the real person comes out, they're a real bitch, or they're a real violent, evil person. Same thing goes for the male actors. These people, like real famous people, when they lose the act, they're evil and malicious, murderous people. All it is just an act, right? The tears, the crying, and of course the music. And same thing goes for like the Bing Crosbys, all of that. Those people, when they're singing and when they lose it, It's when they lose it, those people are a bunch of evil, wicked, malicious. I'm saying Bing Crosby because it's on that level. When those people come up, they're giving it to the music. They're giving it to, and you're supposed to embrace it. MacArthur is one of those people. MacArthur is one of those men whom, when he's been given it to Grace Community Church property for decades, 50 years, I guess. And when you take what he's giving in the front, and I think what they want to give me is a snake, and they're all in agreement with it. And so, and I guess what they were saying is that it's supposed to be at the beginning of the year, sometime in January. They told me to come out January 1st. I said, no, I'm not coming out January 1st. And so they showed me something downstairs, and what they showed me yesterday at Bible study, or 2 days ago at the Bible study, and it wasn't really a Bible study, but when I went there on Friday night, they had it all set up with some of the homeless, and some of the homeless men, or the men living in this building, were out one homeless, and these men are malicious. These people upstairs, these people who live in this building, I'm not exactly sure if they actually live here, or if they're being brought in here to respond violently to what I'm doing in terms of trying to start a Bible study. You have to understand, my mentality is Christian, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But what I'm dealing with are Haitians who are not Christians, unbelievers who are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, maliciously, constantly chasing after me. Okay, both anywhere I go. So I'm sitting downstairs, and the police department comes out. One is going east, the other one is going south, and I'm standing and I'm sitting there facing west. And what was told to me was, whichever way you go, it will determine when the police comes out on you to arrest you, either at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year, because of the two police cars that just went. And I was thinking, and the first thing that came to my mind, and that was the voice of Jonathan Zabel, and the first thing that came to my mind was, I wonder what they're going to do to make me call the police. I wonder how much pain they're going to, hit me with that would cause me to call the police department. And I think they were going to hit me with a car, so that so I would lose the position of living in this apartment. And so it's like, and after, and this was Friday night, and after seeing their response downstairs, this is the tenants, right? This is the tenancy here. They brought a European woman representing Catherine Magdalena, Catherine supposedly representing Marianne Calix, because Marianne is supposed to be the woman who gave birth to me, but she turned out to be an enemy against my father. So I'm not exactly sure how far back it goes, with this hit here this morning, because no matter how far back it goes, it seems like it's because they've been out. I'm not out. They are. And when I say out, I mean they're out constantly trying, and it's as a community. They've got people representing Guy Franklin and Gabriel Franklin across the county here in Multnomah County District. I mean, anywhere I go, it's white girls, Spanish girls, black girls, old men, white men, you name it. I mean, everybody is trying to protect it, and it's not like, and it's all of them somehow or another. It's either they're wearing the color orange or they're doing something. I walked into 24 hours to make a payment, and at first when I got there, the payment was for $29.99. Now they've reduced the payment to $24.99, minus the 1 penny. I'm not sure if it was a discount or if it was because Gabriel Franklin is also using my number, my personal number, to get into the 24 hours. In other words, she has my code, she's using it, or somebody in the gay community is using it to get in and out. And when I got there, the guy dissed me by announcing it to the whole place that I'm paying $25, and it's really $24.99. But the announcement was made, and I thought, oh God. And the guy behind the counter, I don't know who the guy is. I'm not sure why he did that, and I just walked away thinking something's not right with these people. And of course, I've gained weight, so they're putting either weight fattener in my food or stool hardener. I'm not exactly sure what they're using, but I'm blowing up around the gut area. So, going back in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what could I have said to this woman, right? Earlier yesterday, I was molested in the apartment again. Every single night, I'm molested in the apartment. I had written this incident report back on the 29th. On the 30th, she came out. 31st, she came out. The 1st, she came out. The 2nd, she came out. And every night it's the same hit, right? Where she comes out and she sexually assaults. And the staff here is in full agreement. And it's almost like they're all in agreement with hurting me and doing me harm so that she doesn't take the hit of death from the government or the gay community or the Klan. They're all in agreement with the fact that I should be the one to take the hit because behind her is John MacArthur, right? So it's one of those things where these old people are hurting your family members and mine, and then now they've targeted me to make sure that it's almost like they go from when they get to a certain age, they start targeting young people, and they want sex and they want money, and when they don't get the sex and the money, then they start hurting your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your uncle. They target you, and then they start doing shit to you or things to you that would and it's through the community, or it's them directly when you're asleep at night in your home. And they've been doing this for years. John MacArthur's been removed off of Grace Community Church property since 1998, and he has zoomed in on me 24/7, 7 days a week, every single day. Now, how old was John MacArthur in 1998? Let's do this calculation here. So, supposedly on the internet, he was born in 1939, right? 39, 49, 59, 69, 79, 89, 99. So he was 60 years old, right? And today, it's what? 2016, right? 1999 to 2009 is 70, and 2009 to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So he's 77, supposedly. But yet he has a daughter that's 10 years older than me. But yet he has a daughter that's 10 years older than me. I'm 44. So his daughter is what, 54? And he was born in 39, and he's 77. So 77 minus 54 is 23. And she's the last to be born. So she was born when he was 23. And the daughter before her, 22. And the son before her, Marcy, 21. And so at the age of 20, who was born? Matthew MacArthur. So then that means Matthew. So at the age of 20, Patricia gave birth to Matthew. And Matthew, let's see, there's something not right about the calculation of this man's age. There's something not right. So that means Matthew was born at 20, but then he was at the what is it called? Bob Jones University. You see, my sitting here and having to calculate this man's age, and his children, and switching over from him to her, that is Gabriel, because the two are one and the same. Whatever happens to her happens to him. Whatever happens to him happens to her. I'm not exactly sure how this works. Okay, the black woman representing the white man representing the black woman. I had gone out to Tiger. I made a payment. They told me to come out. In other words, as a homosexual. And I basically, in my mind, I had already come out for the Social Security disability income. I don't like being fucked. I don't like eating cock. I don't like fucking dudes. And I don't want them eating my shit or my cock, or I don't like any of that. But whatever it was that needed to be done at the hour that it was done, it was done. I didn't want it anymore, so I didn't want to mix back with them. I did it, whatever it was, and I'm done with it. For the Social Security disability income for the month, right? Because each month, and then here's another thing they told me is that MacArthur has 12 men lined up for every single month from January to December, and with every single month there's a hit that comes, me losing something that comes with each man that volunteers. Now, Social Security Disability didn't tell me that they were going to do this, nor did Social Security Disability tell me that it was going to be needed for me to suck someone's cock, or to have sex with someone in order to receive Social Security. If I'm sick with a terminal illness, why would the U.S. government, right? Why would the U.S. government ask me to continue in that? I mean, once you've been hit with a disease, there's no reason for you to be involved in that same sexual immorality, but these people kept it up, and they've kept it up since 2007. I mean, this is what they've been doing ever since. See, no matter how far back I go in my mind, it doesn't make sense to me where this hit is coming from. I was on the bus here, and last Sunday, this Hispanic man came down from the apartment wearing shorts and t-shirt. It was freezing cold. I was dressed up to go to church. Last Sunday being the 27th, a couple days after Christmas. And the man kept on making reference to the fact that I had the clothes that I was wearing, the suit, the tie, the shirt, what I would wear when I'm standing outside to preach. And it didn't seem like it met his approval. He was a Hispanic man. And it seems like he was specifically sent to engage in conversation, but also to give me a warning of some sort. I'm not exactly sure why. And I saw him on the bus on my way here. On my way home, I had gone to 24 hours. There were two people at 24 hours. After the altercation with that one guy at the front desk, of course I never responded. But with the altercation, after the altercation with the guy at the front desk, I went and I jogged for half an hour and did my routine for a little bit. And then as I was cleaning up, there were two who were summoned to represent Guy Franklin and Gabriel. I didn't really recognize them unless I had read into it. And I could feel the animosity coming from the two men whom I did not know. I don't know where they're from. I couldn't care less. But these people were summoned you could feel the hatred. And one of the men, one of the younger of the two, stood on a bench. I couldn't care less. They were set up in the shower so that I either go to the front stall or the back stall. The front stall before Gabriel, the back stall behind this Guy Franklin. Of course, they're sitting there pissing and shitting on themselves because it was so disgusting. And so I went across from the two of them, took a shower, and went into the locker room. When I get there, they're there. It's like they're there waiting for me. And in the spirit, as I was leaving, and of course, I could feel the animosity there, and I'm thinking, I don't know who these men are. I don't know who's put it in them. But these two people have obviously been summoned by Guy Franklin and his mother to come out. So they came out, and but it was subtle. I never responded. Some other people came into the locker room to cut me off from them. I never said a word, but I could see there was a disapproval about my smell and the smell of my clothing. I live in a studio, so whenever I cook, the smell of the meat goes into the closet, which is right next to the kitchen. right? You don't put a closet directly next to a kitchen, because whatever the odor of the food you have, it goes directly into the closet, right? So there's nothing I could do about my food smelling like my clothes smelling like food. And he pulls out a spray, and he sprays the locker that I was in there. But he didn't do it physically, he did it in the spirit, and I saw what he did. And I just walked out and left and didn't say anything. I went to the Dollar Tree store and bought the frame that you saw at the beginning of the video. And of course, the African American community came out, and they had these black girls, African American women, young African American women. It's almost like they were showing me the girls on purpose to see how I would respond. And they had Mexicans involved, these little short Mexican people. I mean, really, really short. And it's almost like they were trying to agitate or aggravate, trying to see if I would, start something, do something. And here was interesting. They had a frame broken into 3 different places. And when the frame was broken, it was left in the area where the other frames would be. But I couldn't understand, why would they have a frame broken like this, right? And the guy and the African, and I'd never seen this guy before. This is how the frame was. It was broken like this. And the guy behind the cashier stand, when I brought him the frame, he actually scanned the frame, the broken frame, as if I was going to purchase it. He was a Guy Franklin representative. And I thought to myself, I looked at the guy and I thought, are you serious? I mean, like, are you seriously going to charge me for a broken frame? And then he kind of chuckled and put it away. But it's like these people in the entire Multnomah County area are representing this Haitian woman and this younger Haitian man. And I guess she is his senior by at least 20 to 30 years, and they've been having sex with each other for decades, and they presented themselves as mother and son, when in reality, I guess they're a married couple. I don't know. I never knew who they were, but somehow they belong to the homosexual community, and he's a homosexual, and so is she. And what they've been trying to convince me is that she's got a cock, she doesn't have a vagina, and then they switch it from the cock to her vagina, and they go back and forth. I'm not exactly sure what, but every day that I've woken up here in this apartment, I've been in excruciating pain in the genitalial area. I'm tired of calling the police. So the police is not going to come here and do anything on my behalf. When, as a matter of fact, on my way here back home from the Dollar Tree store, as I was saying, the man that I met that came downstairs, he was on the bus. He was on bus number 6, and he exploded because he had rung the bell. And I saw him sitting there, and I knew there was going to be some sort of altercation. I don't know what. He rang the bell, and he's a Guy Franklin representative. And all the time that he was talking to me last Sunday, it's like he was giving it to me, but he was giving me both sides, And he was trying to hold me back in conversation. Both he and Gabriel Franklin had come out. Gabriel Franklin came out through an older white male who was in a wheelchair, big 6-foot guy. He was a combination of, he had the face of Gabriel, but he had the body of John MacArthur. So remember, wherever there's a Gabriel, there's a John MacArthur. And like I said at the beginning, that they've zoomed in on me, my family, to become a slave family. And this is what they're doing now. So anyway, he rings the bell 3 stops before the 13th Avenue bell here. And the bus driver pulls in, and he doesn't say anything. Some white guy who was supposedly asleep responds, and the bus driver passes his stop, and he loses it. And I thought, oh shit, what's gonna happen now? He's just giving it to the bus driver, and I thought, okay, I don't understand this. But anyway, the bus driver pulls up to my stop, And I get off the bus, and I mean, he just exploded, right? And then I come into the building, and there are two cop cars, right? When I get into the building, but I didn't see where either one went, or where either one were, but they were in the building, or they were parked in front of the building. And when I looked into the office, there was just the night security guy that usually does the patrols. But these people are constantly, daily after me in the Multnomah County area, deliberately, with the police department, with these so-called groups that are supposed to be churches have turned. So when I woke up this morning, I turned on the television, because I woke up about 3 o'clock, right? I had fallen asleep here at the chair, and I had turned the chair around to face the window here. And even as I was flipping the channels, what they communicated was that they knew about the hit. Some laughed at me, at the fact that I got hit. Others felt justified that I got hit. And others were just bewildered. I stopped at the bewildered because I didn't do anything. I don't understand the multiplicity of insults, hits, setups, hurts. And what I felt in my spirit was that it was coming from Gabriel, but it was also coming from John MacArthur, the gay and the Klan. And so, to me, these people are wicked. And yesterday morning when I woke up, I prayed to the Lord that these wicked people, using Psalms 50, that these people are wicked and they are his enemies, and they will never stop being wicked, and they will never stop doing wicked things. As long as Gabriel Franklin is alive, and as long as John MacArthur is alive, be sure that someone is going to either get hurt or someone's going to get killed. Whatever they suffered under the Klan, whatever they suffered under the gay community, whatever they suffered, whatever sin came forth from them, obviously they're not Christians, okay? And Guy Franklin and his mother, hides behind the gay community, and they hide behind the Klan. They're violent people. So I'm giving you warning, and I'm talking to you Christians, but I'm also talking to you gay Klan representatives. You're going to end up getting hit on account of those two people, on account of those three people, whether it be John MacArthur or Gabriel Franklin or Guy Franklin. You know what they look like. This is how can I draw your silhouette of the? Now they're using silhouettes. Okay, now they're not even using people that actually looks like them. All you need now is just a silhouette of the two, right? So you have one that's stocky, right? You have one that's stocky in stature. Now, whether or not he comes out as a big fat man or short or short and skinny, right? So they come out in different ways. So there's a skinny one, and there's a skinny one with a square chin. That's Guy Franklin, and then there's a fat and chubby one, and that's Gabriel Franklin. And so that's now she could either blow up or come down or shorten. So for those of you who don't know what's going on, I'm not a very good artist, but you sort of have like one's the mother and the other one's playing the role of the son, and so now they don't even need and those are the representatives. See, this is here this right here. This is a Gabriel, and this is a Guy Franklin. Or it could be that he blows up and she comes down, and he blows up into a Barack Obama, and she comes down into like the Queen of England. Okay, that's how they're doing it, and they could be kids, right? I mean, but it's the sort of mentality that they give you is that you're constantly reading into who they are, and those are the people that they use to insult. and to get violent and to come out. It's an ongoing thing. You remember my last video on representatives, right? So they use representatives to hit. They use representatives to hurt. They use representatives to insult. I want to show you something that's really freaky here. Here, you see this face right here? Okay, that's a Barack Obama and a Guy Franklin, and I'm talking about the boy. Okay, that's how they communicate. See this guy here? I have no idea who he is, but there's a fellow that works in the building that has the same face as him. This guy is the director of the whole Nutcracker thing. When I went to see the Nutcracker, they have a guy that just started working here who's an exact replica of this guy. Okay, and when I went to see the Nutcracker, it's like they changed the name. It's like the whole thing was changed to honor Gabriel Franklin. They changed some of the dancing to be more like African. They changed. I mean, it's. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, when it's on this level, and the guy that they just hired, okay, the guy that they just hired is almost an exact replica. I don't even know he knows this, but he's almost like an exact replica of this guy. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but there's something malicious, wicked. There was one scene where they were representing the one of the Arabian, I think the Arabian dancer. They were trying to portray her as being the publisher, right? And what she did on that stage was a shock. And I just thought that, no, that was a hit. That wasn't a dance. That was a hit. And it was so deliberate. And I thought, maybe that's the reason why from 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, and now going 2016, the publisher basically has not called, has not written, has not emailed, has not contacted, and the way they've presented her is as an enemy. And they presented her as a Gabriel. And the name, and her name is Gabriel's granddaughter's name from Carell's children. So I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it's like, if it's on this level publicly, and it's on, I don't know how to help your church. I think some of the people that you're considering to be pastors, some of the people I'll give you another example. Some people that you're considering pastors, leaders, teachers in the church, they're the opposite. They're not any of that. That's the gay community that's out. They're homosexuals. I just recently received this from one of the local congregations that I visited. And I distinctly remembered when I went there, there was a switch, right? This is from the First Church. I don't know the name of the church. It's not even on here. But bottom line is that these, whether it's church or whether it's state, the guy, they switched. They brought in, I think, a homosexual to represent Gabriel Franklin in the establishment. And though he did the whole lighting candle thing, but there was a hit. You know what I mean? There was a hit. And I thought, this is really bizarre. You know, whether you go see an arts thing or whether you go church thing, there's a hit. And then now the redeeming thing is you are invited. And I thought, no, that's not right. That's not right. That hit was real to me. That was an insult. And then they tell me, oh, by the way, they gave that to you at 24 hours. I go, well, Christians wouldn't give me gay sex. They would rebuke me. A real Christian would have rebuked me for going in that direction or pray for me, but they wouldn't provide it for me. And they kept on telling me this, and I thought, oh gosh, something's not right. And of course, Social Security, right? Social Security disability income, instead of it increasing, it decreased. They took 50 cents off. This is the Social Security Administration. Instead of it, they took 50 cents out, right? And I thought, wow, this is, Barack and his staff, Grace Community Church and their staff. It's in all the churches. It's now even on the stage, right? It's in all the stages, and it's almost like it's all in honor of the series. I mean, any white person who's skinny and has a skinny face and who is tall, it all goes back to Guy Franklin. And anybody that is short, stout, or big, and it goes back to either John MacArthur or Gabriel Franklin. So I'm thinking, I'm 44 years old. This has been going on since 1981. What am I here for? I mean, I don't understand this whole thing. These two old people have left their states, and they have left their homes, and they have left their families to, I guess, sort of like put me in my place. But I don't see my place under their authority. I don't see my place equal to them or under them, because they're not my family. I don't really know who they are. I don't know what they want. I don't know why she's constantly in here squeezing my penis or sucking it or pulling it or doing whatever she's doing to it. I don't know what he wants, why he's constantly, I mean, I can't even talk to the Library of Congress to get them to respond to the work that I put in. I send in work and they don't register the work, or they send me back word saying that I owe an extra $20, but the extra $20 goes into the pocket of either Gabriel or Marianne or John MacArthur. I don't know where the extra money is going. People are doing outrageous things that it's almost like they're afraid for their lives because they're being hurt or they're being hit or they're being killed. Melinda has reported to me several deaths of people that are being killed from Grace Community Church on account of John MacArthur and this Haitian woman. So I'm not exactly sure if the Haitian woman herself is representing England's queen. I don't know why she would be on this continent projecting her authority or what she considers to be her authority. I think she supposedly considers herself to be a sovereign. I don't know how she's sovereign. She's human, just like the rest of us, and a sinner, according to Scripture. So I'm not trying to put blame on anybody, and I think Guy Franklin is supposed to be a Charles, right? So, and it's literally, sometimes I feel like I'm being followed from city to city, state to state by these two people who are being represented. I mean, what does the English government have with America's government if these people are not authorities here? I mean, is there something that I missed, Americans? Did I miss the whole thing here? I mean, I don't understand what's going on. I'm giving you this information to try to protect some of you because I'm getting hit, and I'm getting hit hard. But I know that representatives get hit just as hard. I don't really know how much more information I can give you except for what's already happened. I mean, the hit was here in my elbow, right here. This area right here. There's no proof that there was ever a hit, right? There's no proof that there was ever a hit. It was so painful that all I could do is nurse it, nurse it until the pain went away, but the pain is still here. It's at the joint. It's in the bone, and it's in the flesh, and so I could still feel it here in this area. I would caution you to be careful with these strangers. I would caution you young men, you skinny young men, you young men that look like him, right? You that have that kind of a silhouette. If you're thin in face and you're tall, be careful of what this group who considers itself the community is going to do to you to represent. If you're short and stout, whether you're Spanish, English, American, whatever country you're from, be careful in that you don't buy into this thing and so-called represent Gabriel. If there is a hit due to this Guy Franklin or to this Charles or to these people who are considering themselves to be your sovereign, there's only one sovereign, and that is God himself. That is sovereign. If these people are a hood-wearing clan, and they have your parents, your mother, or your brother, or your father, or whoever representing, I would in doing malicious things, whether to me or to a series of people that looks like me that are considering themselves Kevins, because I'm sure there are men out there who has my face, both black and white and Spanish. Do not hurt those men, because those men are not representing me, and there's only one Kevin Duclairon. I don't want to be a part of your community's what you as a sinful, unbelieving community are doing. I don't want to be numbered with the homosexuals. I'm cooperating with the homosexuals because I don't have any other means of response. I'm not in my own country, and I'm not in my own church community. What's going on here also took place on Grace Community Church property. And so what I'm understanding is that Grace is not altogether a church. And these people that you have raised up as leaders in the church or in the state they're not real leaders, they're players. And so be careful not to get yourself killed, and be careful not to get yourself hurt by these Gabriel Franklins or get killed by these Guy Franklins, because don't fall into the trap of their game. That's what I'm trying to say to you this morning. I don't want these famous names, whether from the 1940s, 30s, 20s, to be part of what these people are doing, because that's what it did. It left New Rochelle, New York, and now it has spread like a disease all across the nation, all along the West Coast, on every level. What was once in Guy Franklin's apartment in New Rochelle, New York, and what was in 18 Chatterton Avenue, Dion Franklin's, is now all over the West Coast. And I have a feeling if I leave the West Coast, wherever I go, it's going to follow. And I'm trying to warn some of you who consider yourself to be the community to do not fall in line with the understanding that you're a Gabriel. You're not a Gabriel. There's only one. That old Haitian woman. You're not a Guy Franklin. There's only one. The people that I met in New Rochelle, whether they're hiding or not, or whether they're dead or not, do not fall prey to this thing. It's going to get you killed. These people are malicious. These people are vicious. These people are evil. And this John MacArthur is right in line with them. He's a Gabriel. Jerry Ragg, I guess, would have been some of the names I'm going to throw out there, you're not going to understand. But you who are from Grace, who know these people, don't fall into this trap in any establishment. Don't fall into this trap of putting yourself in this situation as a Sandra Duclairon or a Gabriel or a Marianne. Don't fall into the trap that these people are setting up. If they are due to be hit or they are due to die, don't fall into the trap of taking the death hit for them. Okay? It's not your business. Mind your own business. Worry about yourself. Worry about your own family. Don't bring other people's. When you see me, don't automatically change and switch to a Guy Franklin, because you're not a Guy Franklin. There's only one. It's the Haitian. There's only one Gabriel. Just like there's only one Queen Elizabeth and there's only one Prince Charles. Don't automatically switch as if you're those people and you're giving me an attitude and you're wanting to fight or you want to get violent. No matter how much information they try to communicate to you through this community system, don't fall into it. You're going to get killed. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hit. And that means whether you're black or white or Spanish or Asian, some innocent person is going to lose their lives as a result of this stupid, ridiculous system that these people have developed. Don't put yourself in that position. I have gone to churches where supposed leaders of the church, where are really not leaders. They're homosexuals that have been switched in. who have information. And so you go to a church on a Sunday morning, or you go to a congressional meeting, you may not be even dealing with the real people. You may be dealing with a homosexual representing, and who knows what kind of violence is in that person that has been put in them. The system. I mean, I don't want you people to get hurt like I'm getting hurt here. The physical hurt, the sexual hurt, the financial hurts. And they're looking to homelessness in 2016. You understand what I'm saying? They're looking to homelessness again. They're not looking for me to go up to a one-bedroom apartment. They're looking for me to go down to jail. You understand? This is the mentality of the White House. This is the mentality of these so-called churches. This is the mentality of the tenants that I live with. Okay? This is the mentality of these sick, perverted people who do not know God. They're sick and they're perverted and they don't know God. And they don't care about my knowledge of the Bible, and they don't care about my preaching of the Bible. They don't care about my calling them to repentance on behalf of God in Christ. They don't care about the gospel. They don't care about the scriptures. They don't care about my religiosity. They don't care about my ministry. These are sick people that we are dealing with as a nation. And I would implore you to be careful not to fall in line with this thing that they're doing, this thing that is in existence, this assumption thing, whatever it is, right? Assuming the position of a Haitian woman or a Queen woman, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fall in line. Don't fall in line with these people. Rebuke it, reject it. Don't accept it. Don't embrace it in your heart. You may not say anything to the person to their face, but in your heart, don't embrace it. Oh, well, I'm a Gabriel, or I'm a John MacArthur, or don't do it. Don't do it, because you're going to hurt innocent people, and innocent people don't need that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not guilty of any crime, but this sick woman is constantly longing for sex and has put it on your plate, Americans, to give her that sex. She's constantly longing for, it's like, why does a 94-year-old need a penis in her vagina or an upper butt? Why does an old 80-something-year-old man need, need a slave? What are you going to, I don't understand these people. And so some of the demands, it's all pride. You understand? It's all pride. As I'm talking to you, I'm in pain. My genitals in pain because they came out. My elbows in pain because they came out. And so I don't know how to protect you as a people, but a lot of you are going to get hit in 2016 as you were hit in 2015. And that means if they have to go through every member of their congregation to hurt or to confirm whether they're the community and are they paying attention. And MacArthur's a known assailant, and he will kill. And so is Gabriel Franklin. They will kill you. Do you understand? You Haitians, you Americans, you Hispanic, they will kill you through the community. They will come to where you're at, if they have to, in order for you to take that hit for them. That's how it is in their mentality. That's how they see themselves. They don't need to know you. Just if you fill in the silhouette, okay, they'll thrust you into that position of, well, you fit the profile, therefore you take the hit. And that means the police department, that means the government, that means the churches, that means your family. Even your own mother could turn against you for being or for having been born a Gabriel, or having been born a Guy Franklin, or having been born a John MacArthur, or having been born a Kevin Duclairon. You've got to be careful. And take that as a warning from the Lord. This thing is out of hand, and it's beyond my control. I don't know who out there is in 2016 is going to be assuming the position of these people. I've already met several, and we're in our third day. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I would rather be sleeping, not sitting here trying to warn you so you don't get yourself killed in 2016. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not doing this for my own health. I'm getting hurt. You understand? I'm doing it for you so that you don't get hit on purpose. I don't have a life here in America, and they're waiting for me to go back to Haiti. I don't have a life here in this country. I don't have a life, period. Anything that I do for the gospel's sake is not going to be taken seriously. Anything that I do in terms of the preaching of the word And that's who I am. You know, anything that I do is not going to be regarded as if it's from God. It's going to be like, oh, this guy's looking for cock to suck. In other words, I'm a fag looking for a penis, or I'm a fag looking for your anus, oh white man. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm giving you warning. All of you white guys out there are supposed to be my target, right? And I'm not after the black girl that's behind you. No, I'm actually supposed to be after you, because that's how I've been depicted. That's how I've been represented. So if, you know, some of you, you know, sometimes I watch television and the men are like, you know, they're almost like afraid that, you know, I'm looking at them that way. I have some kind of strange connection with Gabriel. I'm not sure what that connection is, but she's into white guys. And when she longs for them and desires them and they feel it, they think it's coming from me, when in reality it's coming from her. Okay, she's a woman. If she has a vagina, she's going to want you men in there. Okay, I personally, the mentality that they've given me, I'm combating. Okay, I'm not a female. I'm not a woman. But when she comes out, and you can feel it, right? And so it's almost like I'm not welcome in any churches. Not because I'm looking at the men that way, because I'm not, but because when she comes out, they feel it. They're looking at me and going, "Are you out?" And I'm going, "No, I'm not out. I'm not out. I'm not in. I'm not even a part of what's going on." But that's why I was shoot out of Grace. That's part of the reason why I was left. I had to leave Grace, is because when she projects, it's when I'm standing there, they feel it, they look at me, and they're thinking it's me. Okay? It's not me. It's her. And it's the same thing with John. Okay? When he projects and he comes out, it's like, don't look at me. I don't know anything about this. So I'm giving you warning. Okay? I'm giving you, I don't know how to give you warning except for what I've given you here. I don't know what the ministry is going to be like in 2016. I don't know if I'm still going to be here, because these people want me gone in the beginning or at the end. It could, you know, or in the middle. I don't know. All I know is that they don't want to die. They're afraid of death. Okay, these two supposed violent people are like cowards. You know, they want to hit people and then run and hide, but they don't want to take the hit back on their flesh. They want to hit you, and then they want to run and hide. That's the way Gabriel is, and that's the way Guy Franklin is, and that's the way John MacArthur is. They're violent aggressors. They'll hit you while you're incapacitated, but then when you come to, you know, when you're awake, and it's like, whoa, what was that? You know, they don't want to be near you because they know that you have the you know, capacity to hit them back. I would tell you, Grace Community Church people, MacArthur's time is well overdue. I would tell you people from the Franklin, Delson, or Rameau, or Hoffman, or Shinon Berger family, her time is way overdue. If you were going to carry out a judgment, I don't think there's anywhere for her to hide anymore. Being near me is probably not the best place, okay, because she's violent against me. I don't know what she did to you people in Europe or in Haiti or in New York, but this old bird doesn't belong on this side, hiding behind closed doors where I'm at. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd rather be asleep. I'm a Duclairon. I'm not a Franklin. And I got to worry about this woman coming in here and chopping off my hair, sticking needles in my tongue, ripping at my, I mean, and here it is, the U.S. government is opening the door for her to do all of that. Now, this video is supposed to be a hit, right? But when she comes, she doesn't give me videos. She literally puts her hands on me. You understand? And whether a shot was given to me here or it was hit with something, I don't know if it was an object that they used to hit, or if it was a shot that they used to hit, you know, to give me the pain in this area right here, right? So whether it was something that they used to hit with, or whether it was a shot that they used to put there to give me the pain, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. As you can see, there is no marks there, right? There is no mark. There's no cut. There, you can't even really see anything, right? But the pain is there, and so they, you know, I don't know these people. I don't claim these people. And the only thing I can say to you, and as I'm talking to you, some European men are sitting in the background, and most of the people that are in the background are probably skinny white guys, right? Skinny white guys with the face of Guy Franklin, and they assume the position of Guy Franklin, or the position of Barack Obama, to come into hit, right? I didn't know that it was going to leave the Franklin household. I didn't know this was going to leave the New Rochelle area. I didn't know this was going to move up to White Plains, and from White Plains to Nanuet, and from Nanuet to Northridge, and from Northridge, you know, up to Seattle, from Seattle down here now to Portland. So this thing is just an ongoing, and it's growing. It's in the movies, it's in the industries, it's crossed the nation, but it's in the government, it's in the churches, it's everywhere. And for all I know, it could be in your life. Okay, so take care of this 2016. I don't know if this is going to be my only video or not. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't even know if this is going to even be uploaded, because of the fact that I'm no longer with the library. I lost the library. This is the same thing that they did last year. Last year I lost the library down here, and I couldn't upload my videos or do the work. And I had to go to Beaverton, and when I went to Beaverton, they set it up so that I would get arrested there. And it seems to me that they did the same procedure again. I lose the library, I go to another library, and at the next library, I either lose my privileges with that library or I get arrested. And the police have been buzzing around here. They're probably right now sitting in the background with MacArthur and with Franklin. MacArthur, it's like they wipe his ass and change his diapers. You understand what I'm saying? It's like they watch over him like a crow, and they protect him. It's like their little baby. You know, they protect him and her, and it's like not even up can be done to John and his little posse. You know, John has a little posse that travels with him, and him and his posse, you can't even touch them. But them, you know, they can come out. Right? They can come out, they can hit you, they can hurt you, they can diminish, you know, they can diminish your income. They can use churches to present themselves as leaders. They can switch in. I mean, this guy presents himself on every level, and he's like a god. You know, he presents himself like equal to a god. And so that's that. I would caution, be careful out there in 2016. Don't fall prey and don't fall in line. You know, and that means you young girls, you young men, you old men, you really, your generation really need to deal with this MacArthur. You know, Franklin and MacArthur gotta go. All right, Franklin and MacArthur gotta go. But I'll leave that to your discretion. I'll wait till one of you get killed, and then I'll say, so that I can say I told you so. You know, I'll wait, because warning coming from me is not gonna is not gonna move you. What's gonna happen is blood. When your blood is shed on account of them, then maybe you'll consider that it's time for those two to go. Don't leave it up to me. I don't have any control over where they're at. I'm not the one that's hiding them in the building. I don't hide nobody in the building. I don't have anybody hiding in my closet or under my bed. I'm not the one that's putting them in a certain room area and feeding them and clothing them and caring for them and opening the door of someone's home for them so that they can hurt the person. You know, I mean, this is beyond Gretchen Kafori Commons. This is the government and the gay community and the Klan combined together. So this is beyond my authority. I can't change what these people are and what they're doing and the pride that's coming from them that they're trying to protect, you know. So whatever you may have heard about me or feel toward me, I would caution you, because that you may not have been given the proper information or the information from the proper people. In other words, they'll say it in a way that will make your hatred surface rather than the truth being told. It's sort of like Jesus, you know, it's like the Roman Empire after Jesus' resurrection went around telling the people that it was his disciples who stole his body. It was his disciples who stole his body rather than him resurrecting. So lying, you know, Satan is at the center of this. In everything that I've told you this morning, Satan is at the root of this. Satan is alive and well, and so are his demons, and so is evil. Now, if you're of that evil, malicious, and violent spirit, then you're right in line. But know that there are consequences to that, and that means hell. So, and don't get me to start preaching on hell. So this morning I've taken an hour of your time, and now I'm going to let you go back to your lives and caution you to watch your back. Right? Don't get stabbed in the back like Tony Gaston did, and don't get killed like Jean-Marie and so many other Grace Community Church members. In other words, don't get caught off guard, okay, church? Because these people are serious about their sin and about their violence, and they will hurt you, okay?